You found out that you're a projector in your human design, and now you're curious to understand the deeper layers of who you've come to be. Did you know that there's actually 3 different kinds of projectors? In this video, I'm going to teach you how to identify which kind of projector you are, what that means for you, and how you can use this information to up-level your life. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Human Design Portal, your safe space to decondition and align with the right people, chances, and opportunities. My name is Maika Gabriela, and I'm a human design reader, a deconditioning expert, and the founder of the Transformational Human Design Certification. And I have supported hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bitter, unseen, unrecognized projectors to find success, recognition, and connect to their purpose. And in this video, I'm going to break down the 3 kinds of projectors that you can be. So let's get into it. So the most common projector is going to be the classic projector. And the classic projector is that projector that hears that they're a projector and they're like, that makes absolute sense. You will probably identify the classic projector by them moving at a slower pace, talking a little bit slower, and having a more paced lifestyle. This is obviously only when that classic projector is aligned. Why? Because projectors don't have that consistent energy, and if you're a classic projector, you don't have any motors that are energizing your chart. And so you will see that there is no defined ego, no defined solar plexus, and no defined root in your body graph. This is how we can identify a classic projector. Being a classic projector within the projector conundrum that we can often feel that, we don't fit into society, or that we feel that society is asking and demanding too much from us, or we feel like we can't keep up. Within this concept of the struggles that you might feel being energetically authentic as a projector in your life, being a classic projector is one of those, imprints that actually will make it easier for you to connect to your own energetic authenticity, embrace the fact that you don't have that consistent energy because you won't even feel that big need of wanting to have it. You might see it in other people, but you're so in peace and so energetically supported to just be this classic projector that it won't feel that far from you, that it won't be quote unquote hard or difficult for you to actually align yourself to the qualities of the projector, waiting for the invitation and just, making things differently than what society has told us. Versus being an energetic projector, which is what I am, for example. This is the projector that I believe is the one that struggles the most in understanding how to align with their projector energetic authenticity. And so what is the energetic projector? The energetic projector is that projector that actually is connected to one or more motor centers in their body graph, meaning the ego, the solar plexus, meaning you're an emotional projector, and or the defined root. These are pressure points. These are energies within you that are constantly pushing you forward. And what happens is that because all projectors have an open sacral center, like the one thing that is going to make you a projector is that you have an open sacral center. And so we're conditioned by the energies of the world. 70% of the population has a defined sacral center, generators and manifesting generators. So we will feel the constant need to hustle and bustle and do and activities and energies and that consistent force around us continuously. And because we have an open sacral center as projectors, the way that the open sacral center works, it's a very feminine energy. It will always attract and take in the dominant energy. And so we're here to take in that energy and amplify it. And that can be very beautiful and can be very expansive. It can be very exciting because suddenly we're like, oh, I feel this rush of energy. I feel this rush of desire or excitement, which is when we're taking in the energy of the outside world. But it can often take us off the path to our purpose, and it can often lead us astray from what our energetic authenticity actually looks like. And it can be more difficult for us to actually, take that path of living our life as a light projector. And so what happens is that because all projectors have the sacral center open, when we feel like we need to push to keep up with the world, energetic projectors like me, we're going to push from our motors. In my case, I have two motors defined. I have my ego defined and I have my root defined. So that is often why when I do videos, people come and like, she's a manifesting generator, because I talk fast and I have energy and I like being energetic. Like it feels good to me, feels authentic to me. This is how I love to enjoy my life. But that doesn't mean that, there's, a couple of hours in the day where I'm just like laying flat and allowing all that energy that's been pent up in my sacral center to be released, which is one of the tricks for the projector actually, is that, tips and tricks, is that you lie horizontally, you could work horizontally, you can just like before going to sleep, read a book and lie horizontally to release the pent up sacral center if you feel like, you have this kind of like energy that's vibrating within you. This is something that I feel very often, especially if I've had an event or a workshop or a late night client session or podcast interview, or I've gone to dinner or I've been dancing, like whatever makes me be around a lot of defined sacral centers. Later when I go to bed, even though I'm tired, I have a really hard time calming down. So one of the tips is to lie horizontally. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do like a tips and tricks to live an aligned life for projectors, because I'm just noticing that I'm mixing up content here in this video, but it doesn't matter. So this is what happens. As an energetic projector, you will try to compete with the hustle of the world by forcing those defined energy motors within your body graph. And so these are the projectors that struggle most with burnout. These are the projectors that struggle most with waiting for the invitation. These are the projectors that actually it doesn't feel completely right when they hear like, oh, you don't have energy. You're like, what do you mean? I'm energetic. Like I have energy, right? Because we're pulling it from different parts. What the key again is like, we do not have that consistent energy. And so the energetic projector is way difficult to pinpoint than the classic projector. You will notice when you're sitting in front of a classic projector, you just sense it, you feel it, you see it. They're slower in their movements, they're slow in the way that they, talk and the way that they move through life. And that is very beautiful. But for energetic projectors, that is very hard to do. And so we can often try to compete because like, for example, right, in my case, having the defined ego, that is a very competitive aspect of my design and of my character. So I will try to compete and push my ego and push my defined root to continue to keep up with other people when that is not of service to anybody, especially not to me, but also not as my role as projector leading into the new paradigm, doing things differently. And last but not least, we have the mental projector. So the mental projector is only 1% of projectors. So if we think about this, this is extremely rare. We have, already only 20% of projectors, and now we have the 1% of the 20% of the projectors. And so the mental projector, you're going to be able to identify it looking at the chart by seeing if the crown, ajna, or throat is somewhat connected and defined. And so the way that you will notice mental projector is that all of their body graph is open. There is no definition. There can be activated gates and numbers, but there's not going to be a channel and there's not going to be a defined energy center. And so the mental projector is incredibly strong in the way that they see the world, in the way that they think about the world, in the way that they're able to problem solve. They're going to have strong opinions. They're not going to be very open-minded. And their lifelong journey is all about learning. Mental projectors are projectors that are standing a bit afar from what's happening in life. And there are more people who are observers and learners than actually that really engage with life and get messy with it. And so the mental projector thinks that all of their solutions and all of their ways of making decisions is going to be from the mind and from the head, because that is what gives them the strength. Imagine, right? Like everywhere we're open is where we take energy in. Everywhere we're open is where we amplify what we're feeling from the outside world. So imagine the experience of a mental projector that has all of the lower body graph open, right? There is no definition. So mental projectors are constantly taking in energies, constantly feeling everybody's shit, constantly taking in, constantly assessing. And it's very hard for them to differentiate what is mine and what doesn't belong to me. And so often it feels like they're carrying the weight of the world. Mental projectors can be very sensitive to the outside influences because they are so open. And so if we think about the lower part of the body graph being grounding, being that thing that earths you, that thing that keeps your feet on the ground. If you're a mental projector and everything here is like airy and open and sensitive, it'll be very difficult for you to feel that groundedness because you're going to be in your head all the time, because that's where you feel secure. That's where you have energetic dominance. That's where you know your stuff. That's where you have security. That's where you are unshakable. And so the experience for the mental projector is often wanting to be in the mind and seeing things very logical and being very unattached and being non-emotional, being very square about things, looking at things from a very rational point. But the life experience and the lesson they've come to learn is to actually tap into all of that sensitivity, is to actually engage and learn and feel and become so wise about, what is happening around them energetically. And so even though the mental projector wants to learn all the time, there is a point where the mental projector has to also allow themselves to understand that they don't need a new certification and they don't need a new paper that tells them that they're worthy. And that it's important to move into action if they want to actually achieve things in life. And so mental projectors are going to rely heavily on the people in their life. If you are a mental projector or have a mental projector in your life, make sure that the people around you or the people that are around the mental projector are people that are really inspiring, solid, healthy, and safe people, because the mental projector's life experience is going to be so heavily influenced by the people they have around them, because their way of making decisions is by actually consulting and talking to the people in their life, not necessarily because of their voice or because of what they're saying, but assessing through the feedback that they're getting and how that feels within their energetic body. And so these are the 3 types of projectors that you could be. You can be either a classic projector that is going to have, a more aligned, easy way of embodying the projector strategy and understanding how to live authentically as a projector. You have the energetic projector, which is going to struggle the most because they often feel like they can compete and they can keep up, but they're just not meant to. And then you have the mental projector, who's going to be very in their mind, very logical, very rational. But the big learning comes when we're moving into that sensitivity and the wisdom that lies in the lower parts of the body. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what kind of a projector you are, and if you have any questions at all. Thank you so much for watching. Share this video with anybody you think that could benefit from this information. Like and subscribe and help me grow the channel, and it also keeps me motivated to show up every week with new content for you. So thank you so much for your support and watching, and remember, I don't care what anybody says, I love you.